It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of the Best of Bias podcast, a Sunday's edition of Best of Bias podcast. It's your boy, Lydell Dinero. You already know what it is. We got Daymo Lee in the building, of course. If you look to the left, you'll see him there, or the right, wherever AKA decides to put the video. But how you doing today, Daymo? How you doing?
Good, man. Just doing a little bit of the weekend stuff. You know what I'm saying? Got some home projects in the middle of working on. And really like how they coming out, but
Nice.
Also ready for this football season.
Oh yeah.
Got some little basketball news, got some, some TV stuff, and I think the sports is at a nice little high right now.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting right into the apex of where all the sports are going at the same time. There's been a little lull with basketball being over. It's just kind of baseball right now, a little bit of golf here and there. But we are getting to the crux of I call it the sports equinox, where everything is going at the same time. Hockey is coming back. Basketball is all coming back October 24th. We got 3 weeks until regular football starts. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, little time to talk about it. So I don't want to waste you guys a Sunday, even though coming to this podcast is never a waste of a Sunday. But let's get right to it without further ado. NFL preseason, a couple of little highlights here. Alvin Kamara getting 3 games suspended for his involvement in that fight over there at All-Star Weekend. I think it was for NBA All-Star Weekend when they were in Orlando, or that was Vegas, actually. They're in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They jumped this guy, him and his entourage. So he ended up getting 3 games. Do you think that 3 games was warranted? Do you think he deserved more?
It's a tough one. I mean, it matters what they feel like really is gonna make a difference. I don't think 3 games is gonna be like, oh, now let's not get into trouble like this. Well, I take that back. 3 games in a football season is a lot different than any like other season. So that, in a sense, for somebody like him, that could be millions of dollars missing just 3 games. So if that equates to like that much, heavily being suspended, then okay, I changed my mind. 3 games for an NFL season. I could see that for being good for an all like off-season altercation.
For his incentives and stuff, it's kind of hard to, as a running back, maybe even reach that 1,000-yard threshold if that's what you need for incentives with the 3 out of your 17 games gone.
Because somebody like him, that's almost like 300 plus yards, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's a little bit. That's a lot to kind of catch up on if you miss something like that.
Yeah, heavy fantasy implications as well. Everybody thought, everybody drafts Alvin Kamara pretty early in the fantasy drafts. He's going to kind of fall drastically this year due to, 1, him being suspended, and 2, they have hella running backs on the team now. They have Jamal Williams from he played with the Lions and Packers, and then they have a rookie they drafted, and they were bringing in Kareem Hunt for an interview and a tryout. So who knows what's going to happen with that? So Alvin Kamara, one of the legends in fantasy football the last couple of years, may not be one of the guys you want to pick. But moving on to fantasy,
but he might be an interesting one
to pick up late.
Right? Because now like he is going to miss those 3 games, but that doesn't mean he ain't Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
he can come back.
So that's going to be interesting for fantasy because he's going to fall to a weird area of like, all right, well, who's going to pick him and when?
Because 3 games again isn't a lot.
Yeah, right. I mean, especially if it's going to be very strategic. I feel like it's going to be interesting to see where he goes on a lot of different scales because he is somebody who is still going to get you those points.
Yeah. He almost scored like 6 touchdowns in a game once. Fantasy superstar. But anyways, moving on.
Especially
I'm hearing,
PPR.
yeah, definitely. So I'm hearing bad things about Dak at camp. I
Always.
wanted to ask you personally how you felt about it. Like a bunch of interceptions at camp. People are going to camp personally. Sean McCoy going over there and saying it was bad. The DBs are getting in his face. What's going on with Dak at camp?
Man, so let's just start off in saying I am a very realistic Cowboys fan.
Here, yeah.
I'm not somebody who we suck at basically both ends of the spectrum. We suck at sucking and we suck at being good. Like it's horrible when we're supposed to be good and we have all this talent, we still end up sucking basically.
Right.
But I heavily think yes, Dak had a great like rookie season, but I've never been the huge fan of Dak because I watch all the games and he is just somebody who doesn't make the right play at that right time. And that's why we had that little run with Cooper Rush when Dak was hurt. And everybody is like thinking like, oh, okay, he's quote unquote broccoli, right? But we have enough talent on the team that you don't need to have hella talent at quarterback. You literally just need to go out there, do your job, give our defense some time to rest, manage the clock, and hit your weapons when you need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never feel like, oh, Dak, yeah, he made the play that needed to be made and we won, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's always, and he always gets all these yards in garbage time and shit. Yeah. So like, he reminds me of like Anthony Davis kind of, to where you're very talented, but you don't quite do what you need to do at the right times.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it's the money and the expectations that are put on his shoulders. It kind of makes him kind of like a little bit more worrisome than, a Cooper Rush that really has nothing to lose and can just let it fly and it's, I don't know. They kind of, when he got drafted, I kind of felt like he was a quarterback that his upside was there, but he just hasn't reached that potential that he potentially could have. He's kind of stuck in a rut to where you can see it to where it's possible, but he doesn't really, I don't know.
We've given him so much.
Exactly.
That's the hard thing, that
so much leeway.
It's like, come on, man, we put so much talent around you, and like now we're starting to build a defense, and if you can't get it done with with our defense, bruh, come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's gonna get wild. Speaking of like wildness and just the unknown, the Buccaneers are kind of in that situation. I will talk about my team real quick. These fools don't know who's gonna be quarterback between Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield. Kyle Trask, we drafted him for like high second round to be the next coming of Tom Brady. Well, that's kind of a lot of pressure, but just to be the next quarterback to run our franchise, and he just can't beat out Blaine Gabbert. He seems to be losing the competition to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield made a couple of throws last night in the game versus the Steelers that we lost in the preseason, but still, Baker Mayfield made some plays, was able to roll out and hit some wide open receivers, something I felt Tom Brady wasn't really able to do with his stationary legs. But I just feel like maybe with this new offense with the new offensive coordinator, the guy from the Seattle Seahawks who made Geno Smith look good last year, can get in there and work with Baker. Hopefully can make the offense look okay.
What do you think like Baker struggles with? I feel like Baker is talented. He's a pretty good quarterback. I can't say he's like the smartest, but like I can't pinpoint what it is that like I can be like, oh, he can work on this and he can become solid.
I think he panics a lot under pressure. I think a lot of the teams he's been on, he never had the best offensive lines. So he's always kind of gotten used to trying to do too much and extend plays when stuff breaks down. He got hurt doing that on the Browns. So I think ever since then, he's kind of been a little bit, I don't know, gun shy and just kind of makes mistakes in those kind of moments where it matters for the team. He had a little bit of life when he was on the Rams for a little bit. Won a couple of games there. He shouldn't have won. Whooped the shit out of the Bucks and won a Christmas game, I think, or some game around Christmas that he did hella well, like 4 or 5 touchdowns. So
I would definitely trade in a Tom Brady Super Bowl if it were for the Cowboys. So
yeah, and next year is a really good quarterback draft. So if he's bad, then fuck, who cares? If not,
I'd be okay with your quarterback problems right now.
Yeah.
We just traded everything, got Tom Brady, won a quick Super Bowl, and then said whatever. Fuck it.
And it's kind of cool he retired with us too, so he can still like wear his jerseys and still sell his jerseys as Buccaneers. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
The new creamsicle jerseys, they still sell Tom Brady's up in the stores like he's still on the team, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's tight though.
It is cool. It's cool. He has a legacy on the Buccaneers. If he wouldn't have won that Super Bowl, they probably would have tried to wash that legacy away. But since he did win the Super Bowl, he claims us, and we up there. You feel me?
And you guys are the team that he can say, oh, like I did this, like, oh, I won a Super Bowl without Belichick, and I was the first to win a Super Bowl in the stadium.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But then it's funny because the Rams wanted to decide to go do it
the next year. That's just crazy.
It's never been done, and then it's 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and then Russell Wilson tried to do the thing, and it just didn't happen for him. It just didn't happen. Nate Diaz versus Logan Paul. What'd you see? What'd you like?
Oh man, them too. They're just entertainment. I saw that match was the highest like grossing boxing match compared to the first one, which was the freaking No, so all right, never mind. It's the number one bet on like boxing event. And the first one was Ryan Garcia. Yeah, Tank. Ryan Garcia and Tank. Yeah. And those two broke records. But they're just Nate Diaz is just pure comedy.
Yeah.
If you're from the Bay, you like look at him and you lightweight are like, I know fools like this, dude.
Yeah.
Like I know niggas like this fool. But hey, I mean he's a dog. That's one thing. He can go in there and fucking he can fight. He can just leave just getting rocked, but still leave to where he ain't, you know what I'm saying, he walking away.
Yeah. I think it's more so that it's a boxing match, and he knew that he can't really box as well as Jake Paul because he's out there just actually boxing, training to box and stuff like that. And MMA boxing and training to do everything all around is a little different, especially when you know how to score in boxing. Your stamina in boxing can be different. The rounds lengths are different. And just the movement and the way you have to be ready is different. I just felt like Jake was ready for that. That's why you saw him knock down Nate Diaz early. But then you saw Nate Diaz get some punches in on Jake, but he wasn't able to turn over his punches enough to where they would look like they hurt Jake at all.
Yeah. I feel like that's for a lot of MMA dudes, I feel like that's something that like groundwork and stuff like that is what helps them not be able like when they're trying to basically throw blows and they don't have no fucking oomph behind it. That's when you kind of go to the groundwork.
Exactly.
And you kind of get your like your endurance back up to where now you can actually throw punches that are actually going to do some damage.
And the gloves are smaller, so you hit different. You know, when you have boxing gloves, you have to turn over your punches a little differently to make the punches actually effective. I mean, he was able to score points with those, but Jake was beating his ass so much in the first couple rounds, even though Nate was touching Jake up, it wasn't affecting him at all. You know what I mean?
Well, and like in the style of boxing versus MMA, like you have to always keep your hands up with your boxing gloves, which are heavier in kind of like a different way. But with MMA, like you can kind of like have your hands down and kind of like, you know, like try and attack kind of like that. But boxing, you got to kind of keep your shit up like this at all times a little bit.
And he was too busy taunting and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of made it more entertaining without the taunting and stuff Nate Diaz was doing, without the braggadocio-ness, if
Yeah.
that's the word, of Nate Diaz. It would have been just a straight up ass whooping because, yeah,
If
yeah,
that's not a word, we need to make it a word because I like
right.
that word.
Yeah, this fool didn't work out. You can tell he didn't train or nothing really. It was kind of just he wanted his money. He just somebody with his personality, he can go in there and take that beating because he knows that outside of boxing that Jake can't beat his ass. So in
So
his
I think
mentality, he's like, whatever.
MMA wise, I think Anderson Silva gave Jake Paul a way better fight than Nate Diaz did.
Yeah, because he's actually did boxing rounds or matches before, celebrity boxing matches and stuff like that.
Well, for a minute, I thought Anderson Silva was about to catch Jake. A couple of those late rounds, he was in there. He was a couple punches away from slipping Jake one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like Nate Diaz never really had Jake on the ropes, or like he never really had control. I felt like I'm really interested to see if Jake does go MMA.
Yeah,
He's gonna get his ass whooped.
Yes, and I don't think he should do it. If he does, he shouldn't start with Nate because Nate will go and he'll try to kill his ass in there, choke his ass out hella fast. So I mean,
you're gonna tarnish your legacy because now you're trying to do something that like at least you can say you're quote unquote a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Like you try, unless he's been training for like 5 years on the low, right? Like, hey, like he's been MMA type shit, and this has been his rollout.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna kill the scene in boxing,
but I really got some shit in the tuck.
Yeah. Yup. Watch, and I'm gonna say, oh, I'm gonna do MMA, but I'm gonna actually be raw at MMA as well.
And maybe
and I can see him doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Like he's already kind of beefing with Dana White, saying he'll give the fighters more and more benefits if he was like, if he was like the owner of their shit. And I think he's kind of doing that. Jake Paul, at first I thought it was kind of selfish of Jake Paul to kind of be just doing these fights and get people to watch, and they kind of seem like money grabs. But at the same time, as the fights get bigger and bigger, you can see that he has a promotion company. He's bringing other fighters along, putting them in positions to potentially go pro and things like that as well. And what do you know? Maybe he'll create his own league, his own MMA league, own boxing league, where he can be the commissioner. He's making so much goddamn money and give all the boxers benefits and take from other leagues like Live and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He could get that big.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's obviously a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but I think Jake Paul ain't that bad of a guy. Yeah, I think he gets tarnished by like his legacy of how he first started, of like the pranks and the videos and that type of shit, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like over the years, I don't know him, but I feel like he's kind of grown up and he's not this like, yeah, people hate him, but I feel like that's everybody nowadays. But I do feel like even though he does try to capitalize shit, he not just out here trying to take advantage of people. Right. He not out here just trying to like this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, even people hate on this fool Mr. Beast, and he be like, man, he does hella charity work. But then people like find the worst shit, like, oh, he writes off certain things for doing shit for people. Like, man, who gives a fuck if
everybody does that?
Yeah, right. Like, oh, y'all ain't talking shit when Beyonce and Jay-Z like doing that type of shit.
Yeah,
you know
everybody does that. Every business person does that. If they don't, they're messing up. I mean, they're fucking losing out on business perks that you could have for having a business. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing though, because Jake, personally, again, I thought he was just an asshole kid kind of doing whatever for shock value, kind of those shock jock people that just kind of gets views off that kind of shit. But once he started actually getting into his boxing shit, it's like the fifth, sixth boxing match he's already done. He wants to be a boxer. I get it. And he's training. You know what I'm saying? He's not going out here embarrassing himself and losing. He lost once to a person that's been boxing for a while, and Tommy Fury. But it's at the same time, it's like, okay, like it's fine. It just kind of shows every fight that he fights, he gets better and better, and it makes for whatever his actually ultimate goal is going to be. It is what it is.
And he doesn't go out there and just look foolish. Like it does look like a boxing match. He's not like winded. He's not fucking throwing like these haymakers or you know what I'm saying. He's not doing all of that type of shit. He's actually out there and like boxing. So it's entertaining. Obviously it is money grabs, but it's a lot better than what it was before. Him fighting Tyrone Woodley and like Nate Robinson and shit. Like, all right, we had enough of that.
Gotta elevate it to something.
These are a lot better than that. So I feel like we're definitely on a better page. And hey, I mean, shit, I'll be watching them. I bet on 3 of them. And so like, yeah, I mean, if he has another one, I'm probably gonna tune in. So
I forgot about my bets here. Oh no, Irving. So I'm like this fool Cole Irving. He had 4.5 pitching outs. I put under. He's the last person on my slip. If I win, I get $225. But he got like 3 strikeouts right now. I think
it's gotta go under.
Yeah, a 4 under 4.5.
Okay.
So 5 kills me.
If it's the 5th though, he's a starter.
Yeah, we're getting close.
You're looking good because that 6, 7. All it takes is if you're a starter, once you hit that 5th round or that 5th inning, talk about boxing and shit. That 5th, 6th inning, all it takes is a base hit here, another base hit there. They're like, all right. You gotta go.
He has 4 strikeouts now.
Oh
my god. 1 away. My slip's gonna turn into pennies. But anyways, also Logan Paul is supposed to be fighting Dylan Dennis next. So I don't know. Logan Paul has really been overshadowed when Jake started doing his own boxing thing. But his prime company is everywhere as far as promotion goes. Fucking UFC, fucking boxing matches, whatever him and KSI did to get his business that big and to be on all these promotion spots. I need that secret. You know what I mean? And they've been beefing too because supposedly Jake Paul's not promoting Logan Paul's fights or anything with Logan business-wise because he's partners with KSI. Who Jake Paul hates. So they're kind of beefing right now.
So Jake Paul hates KSI.
Right. And Jake's well, I don't know. I think they're kind of like just YouTubers that are beefing with each other and they want to box each other.
So Logan and KSI
are business partners. Are prime together.
The drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jake hates KSI supposedly, and he doesn't promote any of his business endeavors or fights or anything because he's working with KSI. And Logan Paul is hella mad about that, and they got nullified on the most recent video. But I think it all may build up into a fight between both of them, which would be kind of epic.
Who, KSI and...
Or no, Logan and Jake. Let's see them knock each other out. I think a lot of people will pay to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
But moving on, speaking of getting knocked out, Tim Anderson getting knocked out by young Ramirez. What was his first name?
Man, that's crazy.
I got his
name. Vladimir?
No. It's I think it's Jose Ramirez. Yeah. He got some altercation at second base. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know why they were so frustrated, but Jose Ramirez got up from a slide, slid in second base. He was safe, I think. Or was he out? Was he safe? I don't know. Anyways, Tim Anderson tagged him. And then they just all of a sudden started fighting. Gloves dropped. They squared up. A little bit of separation, but they threw a couple of blows early. I don't want to give him any slight, but as Jose Ramirez was getting pushed back, he put his head down and threw this blow. That was kind of crazy. Knocked him in the chin. Knocked Tim Anderson out. It was kind of crazy because I haven't really seen any actual fights in baseball actually happen. Usually it seems just I've seen it, the Odor and Batista one.
I was gonna say there was a player that was literally front row and center for both of them.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not gonna lie. Like if you look and watch that fight, like, yeah, Tim Anderson got slept, but you would have thought that Tim Anderson knew how to fight more than Jose Ramirez did. Yeah. Jose Ramirez is like ducking, throwing haymakers, hoping to catch one. And like Tim Anderson is lightweight, like aiming at this fool's head, like trying to like throw blows and connect. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where like watching the fight it sucked because all Tim Anderson just needed one uppercut. Instead, he was trying to punch down, but all he needed was to come up with that shit, and he would have snuffed Jose Ramirez.
Definitely.
Watch it. If you watch it in slow-mo. I think it was like his third punch right before he got snuffed.
Yeah.
He barely missed, and if he would have came up, Jose Ramirez was right there. But yeah, it was a sloppy knockout. It didn't So the Odor one, and Bautista one, bro looked him in the eyes, backed up, and basically he ate that shit.
He did.
But he connected so well.
Square
Jose, yes, bro. He might have slept somebody else. I feel like Bautista's taken some he's been hit, he's been in some fights, and he's got hit in the jaw a couple times, and so he wasn't getting snuffed. Tim Anderson, he looked like he ain't never been hit in the jaw before.
Yeah, he got rocked and he was mad too. He was like, fuck, I'm about to go back out there and give him the business. And he couldn't even stand on his feet. He was like, guys.
So that was what crazy to me. Like, dude got rocked, but like he was having trouble bringing it back.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he was like, woo, he must have got. But like, bro, that's crazy. When you're watching it, Jose Ramirez didn't even have like a closed fist. Like he like the lazy, just like put
your head like, down, throw as hard as you can.
Like I caught you with this part of my hand and shit, but just
square. It happens. Yeah, that's what happens. So next time they meet, it's gonna be kind of crazy to see, but yeah, man, it was pretty epic. Another fight.
Hey, I think people are getting thrown out.
Yeah,
because I know somebody's throwing at somebody, and that's what it is. Because Tim Anderson, whoever the pitcher is, Tim Anderson's gonna be like, nah, you have to throw. You have to throw at somebody.
Yeah.
I couldn't have gone out there. You gotta throw at somebody. That's what it is.
It's gonna be so interesting. I love the beef. Next, Richard. Speaking of beef, my segues is going pure right now. Richard Sherman joined Undisputed with Skip Bayless as well as Rachel Nichols to mediate, and a new Lil Wayne theme song for Undisputed coming back August 28th. How do you feel about that?
So Rachel Nichols told me. They said Richard Sherman is going to be a like a periodic
part of a rotating.
So I do like the Sherman pickup, but I don't know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe he's gonna be like basically the counterpart that Shannon was, of like every episode, every day, all the time. But from like what I've seen, I don't know, that Shannon and Skip had a sweet spot. Skip doesn't argue with people well.
Yeah.
And Richard Sherman, they're just gonna argue.
Yeah, and I don't think Richard Sherman argues well at all.
Yeah, he gets too like emotional with his arguments, and bro, it took them what, like 5-7 years for Skip to like throw a personal shot at Shannon, and Shannon still never threw a personal shot at Skip ever.
Yeah,
I guarantee you Richard Sherman's throwing personal
takes 5
shots
minutes
instantly. Yes, he's already taken personal shots from just their interviews that they've done previously.
Yeah, on first take.
People like that, I have a hard time thinking that they're good like debate analysts, right? Mm-hmm. I don't feel like, so when Stephen A is doing like a monologue about something, he takes like personal shots, but I don't think Stephen A ever like, he's never going to stoop to that level, I feel like, of taking personal shots to somebody else unless they like do it, right? But even so, like people like JJ Redick, like the back and forth there's a level of like knowing kind of like your place in a sense of not being argumentative but being able to debate.
Yeah.
And some people don't have that, and I don't know if Richard Sherman could be able to like bite his tongue the way Shannon used to.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think Richard Sherman. He's just kind of, and he's kind of. I don't think he's ready. He tried to do the Thursday night games on Prime. He was on some of the NFL Network stuff, but I feel like he still isn't good in front of the camera. I feel like he's still kind of stuttery. Again, he's going to be. You can hear it in his voice that he gets really emotional. But it's an interesting choice. I don't know if it's going to be him and third guest, and the third guest rotates.
Well,
I don't know.
it. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I just don't know what the format's going to be, but I just don't know if it's going to be Richard Sherman. It's a weird choice for it to be sometimes, but I feel like it may be all the time with a third guest that rotates.
Well, and I hope it doesn't tarnish Rachel Nichols' spot where she has to basically like constantly talk these fools down instead of like, because I used to love what she did on the jump, right? She used to kind of like have her shit, but like now I don't really want her to have to step into a Molly mediating type of place. And hey, I fucks with Molly.
Yeah.
But I feel like Rachel Nichols, when it comes to basketball, she is very, very like knowledgeable.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see it. August 28th. Undisputed is back on FS1. The slot
Is
has
the
been.
Wheezy song gonna be better?
Yeah, I hope so. This last one was really catchy, but with Lil Wayne, there's always opportunity for something to be better because everything he makes is better than the last. Well, a lot of the time it's big stuff, but let's see. We'll see. I'm excited to see it. Again, it's August 28th. But speaking of what was going to say, speaking of while we're in the NBA real quick, no, let's not go to that one yet, quite yet. Sabrina Ionescu, let's talk about her really quickly here. I'm really a big fan personally. Sabrina Ionescu, if you didn't know, she played for Oregon. Big star, young protege, came up under Kobe. Really big. They worked together a lot, and it was kind of like really big in the news. This girl kind of coming up, getting mentored by Kobe, one of the girls who's supposed to bring the light back to women's basketball, that was going to mentor Gigi and help her kind of ingratiate into women's basketball and kind of like change the game. But now she's finally breaking out of her shell in the WNBA, New York Liberty. The first year she got hurt, I think she hurt her ankle. Wasn't really able to contribute. Second year she came out and was able to show little flashes, but Liberty were really bad. This year they got Breanna Stewart. Now she's just all-star this year. All-star game, killing the three-point contest. Record like what, 27 out of 29 shots or whatever. Something like that.
Yeah. She broke Steph and them record too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. She only missed like 2 shots in the whole three-point contest. Yeah. And now she's like putting up 35, 37, 8 threes in a game. Like, she's starting to come into her own. She has a shoe coming out. Well, I think it already came out. I don't know. But the first signature shoe that I'm about to get, yeah, it's coming out September 1st. Yep. New Nike shoe. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I'm calling them the Sabrinas. For sure can get me a pair. Have you seen them? I know you've seen them.
I like them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough one. I really like both colorways. The white one is really hard, but I do like my favorite color is purple, so I like that there's like a purple tint in the other one as well.
A little Kobe tribute.
Yeah. But I do like. So I was watching like an interview and a couple funny things. She basically didn't tell her family that she got a signature shoe deal yet. So she might have told them now, but like through the process, she didn't let them know and whatnot. So I'm like, that's funny because I would have told my family.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
But what she also said is design wise, she went with the swoosh going upwards because it meant like for her that like breaking through barriers, right? Like doing something new. So I was like, that's a cool little like representation of like trying to do something different.
Hell yeah, I'm about to get me a size 13.5 in women's for sure. Put them on these feet, you know what I'm saying, represent Oregon nice and well. You know what I'm saying? Oregon is represented in the WNBA pretty nice. Some high draft picks that we got and sent into the NBA. Doing pretty well. One of them got cleared my slip today. So we
Yeah,
out here.
I want those too, but then I want the Kobe. I want the white Kobe's
Oh
too,
yeah,
though.
they coming out. I think they're coming out August 8th of 2024 though. So they come out next year. So 8/8/24.
The Halos.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are raw. Those are fucking raw. I mean, miss out on the GGs. So I really hope I do get my hands on those. But yeah.
You know what else they're doing? 8/8/24. Or no. The 8 Pronto, they come out the 23rd.
Oh, the 24th is
August.
a statue.
Yes, that's what
That's what it was.
So 8/8/24 is gonna be the new statue that they're doing for Kobe, Gigi, and all of the people who passed in the helicopter crash.
Gotcha. I feel that.
And I guess Vanessa Bryant is like in the process of picking the artist right now.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. In that case, then shit, I am down to try to get those shoes. Hopefully I can win.
Yeah, the 23rd.
Yeah, just want to freaking
and look out, they're supposed to be restocking the Gigi's sometime soon too.
Okay. That's what's up.
But see, that was one thing I was talking about. Like I wonder how easily available the Halos are gonna be.
They're not at all.
Bro, but see, that's what I don't like about it. Is all the Mambasita gear and shit, like all of that stuff when it first dropped, bro, like you could barely get your hands on it. And I hate that they're like sending everything to like celebrities and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So Kobe, knowing Kobe's like, nah, man, you're not gonna send hundreds of stuff to celebrities and whatnot. Like, give those to my fans and people that like would go to the store and buy them. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Kobe always prided himself on having his shoes and like his stuff like heavily accessible.
Yeah, they always were. They always were. But now that he passed away, it's just over for it.
Yeah.
It's over for it. Real quickly, in a minute or less, we have to go to commercial break here really quickly. That new AD contract, $62 million a year, 186 overall. How do you feel about that?
Just another Dak situation in basketball. I just picked the best teams to follow, right? I got Dak, I got AD, oh man, just come on. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think they were kind of strong-armed into it because we didn't really know what else to do at this moment, and getting that to hopefully, I guess they're giving him money to hopefully be like, all right, bro, now's your time.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to worry about stuff. You just need to ball out and do what Anthony Davis needs to do.
Yeah,
right. Like, we have all this young talent. Well, look, you got LeBron, and now we got a bunch of young talent around you, and we have years to build. So, like, if you can't get it done, it's over for you.
Yeah. Like, 1 second, though. 1 second, not to cut you off. Get this commercial break real quick, and we'll get right back to it. See how you feel about this, AD, man. We need you to step it up. But it was the Best of Bias podcast. It's Sunday. AKA, you're not AKA. You're Daymo. Daymo's in the house. It's your boy Lydell Dinero. We'll be right back. It's the Best of Bias podcast again on a Sunday. Hey, stay cool. It's hot out there. Stay hydrated. We'll be right back. It's your boy. You heard me? And we back. It's the Best of Bias podcast. It's your boy Lydell Dinero. We got Daymo in the building. He was talking AD in the new contract. You want to finish up that point real quick before you move on?
I just really hope he wants. I just hope he proves it. I just prove to be here, please.
Yeah, I was talking to John. It's like, all you really gotta do is work hard 4 games. No. I know exactly what you're talking about. Just show up like you want to play basketball every day. Yeah.
And That's it.
Yeah, and you're so dominant. You only have to work hard against like 4 teams: Philadelphia, the Nuggets, maybe the Timberwolves sometimes. But that's the only teams that should be able to stop you from doing anything relatively of what you should be doing, what you showed in the playoffs. You should have those numbers constantly, easily,
There
without.
should
Yeah,
there should just be no reason why you just like disappear for games at a time.
yeah.
Nah. You're way too good. You make way too much money, and you're way too big and athletic for that.
And you see what all these other big men of his caliber are doing, dropping 40-point triple doubles, and you've seen him do that shit. He can do it, and that alone helps the team so much. Every team doesn't have a big that can do what he can do. He should be feasting.
Bro, to be honest, yeah, like I see the 40-point triple doubles and this and that. Bro, I would be cool with 27, 10, and like 6. Just average that.
Yeah.
No, because like if he can be consistent and give us that, all the other pieces can handle it, right?
Yeah.
Like all it takes is all right, just like LeBron, like wait, he gonna give you like 28 and 8 or like 26 and 6, like that's gonna be LeBron, right? You can count on that.
Mhm.
But AD, like he'll disappear on you.
Yeah.
And like you can't, when you're AD, there should be no reason you should have minimum 7 boards a game.
Oh yeah. 10
minimum. I wanted to say that, but
yeah.
I'm like, bro, you can not hustle and get 7 boards a game. There should be no reason your numbers are in like 4s or anything. You also should never you should have 10 points at the line minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
at least 3 blocks.
Yeah, right. And like that's an easy 20, right? Like if you can't easily drop 20, you got 10 at the line and you're gonna easily make fucking 5 buckets, right?
Yeah.
Like just show up.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. It's like, bro, show up, put up those numbers, and then disappear. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? All right, AD ain't the fourth quarter player once he averages whatever. Like, all right, cool, we can handle that, right? Like, fuck it. All right, just do whatever. But like, the fact, like, it hurts us when AD can just not show up. Like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah, and I think that money hopefully puts a battery in his back and lets him know
but the money didn't put a battery in Dak's back.
I know, but I'm hoping for this guy. He knows it's LA. Then these people, like LeBron's leaving. Like you have to be the next person that takes over for the Lakers. Once he does transition, you have to be the leader of these men, these young guys that we're paying now to be Lakers in the future. So we have to see. We have to see. And this is it's not a long extension.
Right upside too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Austin Reeves, Rui, like
Vincent's good. You got a bunch of young guys. Cam Reddish on the squad you guys just got.
Yeah.
So a bunch of young guys that will follow AD if he can just be that leader. He doesn't have to be the vocal leader. Just go out there and perform, and that'll lead the men and not put a lot of pressure on these young boys back. Austin Reeves can ease into his play rather than everybody expect him to do so much because he brings so much less. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. We were talking a little bit while we're in the NBA subject. We saw a meme which had a team of Steph Curry, I think it was Kevin Durant, Giannis, Shaq, and Michael Jordan. And we were saying, what 5 would you put together to potentially beat that dream team of players on that side? What do you think? If you have a 5 together out there, listeners, if you have a 5 that you guys think can bat with our 5, what do you think? But Daymo,
drop
what do you
those
think?
in the comments right there for sure.
Exactly. A little thought exercise.
Yeah, no, that'll be a fun little debate in the comments.
Yeah.
Do you already have your 5 thought out right now?
Pretty much. I mean,
okay, you go first. You go first.
I'm going to say, let's see, who's not on there that should be on LeBron, of course.
All right. So no, I have my 5, I think.
Yeah.
So my 5 is gonna be built to like basically go up against this 5.
Yeah.
So their 5 is obviously Steph is running point. MJ, Michael's 2, right?
Yeah.
2 guard.
Yeah,
KD's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is 4. Shaq is 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start with my 5 because that's pretty easy for me. I am going to pick. Wow. Nah, I'm going to pick Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as my 5 to go up against Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna go for my point guard. I'm gonna go from 5 to 1. See, this is where it gets tricky for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go. My point guard is gonna be Magic Johnson. But so Magic is going to guard. Damn. Oh, Magic is gonna guard KD.
Mm-hmm.
And then so now so I got Magic and Kareem, then LeBron. Hold on, who was my 5? I had a for sure 4. So LeBron is in there. He's gonna be guarding Giannis. Magic. Come on now. Didn't I sent this to the group. I guess I don't have it. Thought I did, huh?
So
Thought I
I got a
did, but
little
I
something.
didn't.
I got a little
Yeah,
something.
you highlight.
So point guard, I probably can bet that I definitely would. You probably use Magic Johnson for that. Shooting guard, probably gonna definitely use Kobe Bryant.
Oh,
Uh,
Kobe. That's fucking, I'm wearing the nigga's jersey, my guy.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
small forward for sure is gonna be LeBron. At 4, this is where I would probably who they have Giannis at the 4. Fuck it, we'll go Tim Duncan, and then 5 we'll just do Kareem. Or yeah, no, not Kareem, Hakeem.
Oh,
Hakeem on
okay.
Shaq.
So Hakeem on Shaq. Ooh,
Hakeem on seven
that's an
footers.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll see what happens. Let him rumble. Hakeem on Shaq, and then the 4, I do Tim Duncan on Giannis, and then we'll do KD on LeBron, and then Kobe battle out with MJ, and Steph is gonna have to struggle with Magic. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say
Sorry,
Tim's gonna have a tough time with Giannis.
that's fine. But Giannis, yeah, shit. I
But
think Tim's got
but
some
there's
defense.
an yeah. He's got defense. I just think Giannis is a lot faster, like up and down. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I look at see like Steph, MJ, KD, Giannis, and Shaq. Like they have size, but they can move. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Shaq. It matters what Shaq we're talking about.
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, you can score you want to, but you're not stopping Hakeem from getting to the dream shake. You're not stopping
Oh,
Tim
for
Duncan from
sure.
getting to his spots. Giannis can be the best defensive player in the world, but big fundamental gonna get to his spots. You know what I'm saying? Off the
Yeah.
glass on your ass. So,
No, I'm just talking about winded wise.
oh yeah,
Uh,
it's fine. I mean, you
Big
can try to
Timmy.
run. You can try to run. We got LeBron out there. You got LeBron and the Kobe out there to try to get a little run going, and Magic too. Magic stopping shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. What y'all think
See
y'all
me.
5 is? Put it down in the bottom if you can compete with our 5. You know it. What's your 5 just to get it down in stone for the people?
My 5. So we got running point is gonna be Magic Johnson. We got my 2 guard is gonna be Kobe. My 3 guard right now is we're gonna leave that in the air. My 4 is LeBron, 5 is Kareem, and then my 3 guard is gonna be. I'm gonna go with my original, and I'm going prime Clay because I need a lockdown defender.
Okay, and Prime Clay over Prime Kawhi.
So that was who I was thinking, right? Like I I was like, all right, Kawhi, he could be a lockdown defender and he can get his own shot, but I like Clay's like fit style.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Clay is straight about basketball. He is like, I'm willing to work for the team. When Clay was in his prime, he was locked down.
Yeah.
Like he would lock down your best player. And this fool is money, just like Steph.
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree. Pretty up there.
And yeah, he got catch and shoot. Like he got a little dribble. The one thing he can't like create his own bucket, but when you got basically when you got Magic and LeBron acting as point guard, he don't really have to create his own
Exactly.
bucket. You know what I'm saying?
Just play defense, stand in the corner.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I feel that. That's cool. That's cool. 5-on-5 versus that little dream 5.
We should put those fives, like our fives, up against those and run like a couple simulations
2K
on
simulators.
2K.
That'd be epic. As fuck, yeah, for sure. See who wins. That'd be dope. Let's get into some of this pop culture moving out of sports here. Let's start with the Alabama Brawl video going around Alabama in some kind of boating area, some docks. I guess there's a ferry trying to park and bring some passengers back. But these people had a boat docked in the area where they weren't supposed to be. We had a security guard go down the track and try to tell the guys move the boat because the ferry was coming in, but these white guys weren't listening to the black security guard, and it got really racial out there. It's definitely Alabama. They're probably saying a whole bunch of words to the security guard, and the security guard was just trying to do his job to bring the boat in. So after a while, the conversation got a little more heated after the guys wouldn't move the boat. We see, hands being thrown. First, we famously see the black security guard throw up his hat, hit it with the Bobby Schmurder. And that was the ultimate sign of, okay, something's about to go down. We see one of the white guys, throw a punch at the black dude, and they kind of tussle, go to the floor. And in that case, you see a whole bunch of other white guys come out of the back and kind of start jumping on the black security guard. And then at that point, we see a whole bunch of bystanders are watching and filming, and black bystanders are seeing what's going on, and they're noticing a whole bunch of white guys jump on this black guy. So they come out of nowhere from all angles to help defend the security guard, and it's an all-out brawl.
One swims from the boat,
yes,
to help his homie. That's that dedication.
Yeah,
he's the first. He might be the first black guy ever to swim to a fight.
And it's crazy, yeah, because I know he's gonna be hella mad when he actually gets over there.
He'll be all wet, heavy.
Exactly. He didn't even think about his phone.
Tired.
Yeah, he said, "Fuck this."
Yeah,
I'm gonna go help him. He's probably.
It was a lot longer than he thought.
Yeah, his mom was on the boat. You gonna help him? Should I help?
Yeah,
go. He jumped in the water.
You better hope you get that. I know, for a fact, if you're not the best swimmer, right? And if you're swimming distances, if you're jumping off something, make sure to get the best dive jump as possible. And when you are swimming, when you're swimming far places, because man, I was in Hawaii. Man, shout out to Hawaii.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now. Yeah,
but man, I almost drowned on Black Rock, bro. And I had to make sure, on my way back, I was like, when I dive and jump, I have to jump as far as I can because the beach is so far right now.
Yeah.
And it's you think the ocean water is so much different, than swimming in the pool. And you get so tired so quickly when you're battling waves and shit.
And he jumped in a murky ass river. What the fuck? You don't know what's down there. You know what I'm saying? What if you jumped right into some debris and just got fucked up?
Hey, I lost him in the altercation too. All I remember is him just in the water.
He probably got out hella tired, just fuck, all right. I don't even know if I want to fight anymore.
Just sat down.
Push somebody, just sat down. Yeah, it was crazy though, just seeing everybody get involved. Chairs, famously, we're getting really famous in social media right now because this man was swinging a chair like motherfucking Excalibur, smacked the lady on the top of the dome like a fucking whack-a-mole. It was crazy. It was crazy. Cops are going out there. Luckily, nobody was shot because the cops did have weapons drawn. Excuse me. And people were just fighting, just throwing shit, But you know what I'm saying? It's not olden times. Supposedly there were white supremacists saying some shit to this guy and they started jumping on him. So luckily there's people around to actually help him in the situation. You never know how left it could have went if he just, nobody actually was sitting there and watching it, filming it, or even helping. Most of the time people just film and don't help in the first place. So luckily, there's people there to help, and luckily it went down like this. Though, need to be careful because this thing is really glorified. And if people in Alabama trying to get some get back, they possibly can, because you start getting shit racially motivated, and people in that South down there don't play with that shit. They'll go hard.
It's crazy. Little fun fact about that whole situation. I was reading something, and basically that area was like that little canal water area was used back in the day for like slave trade. So that was like a major port for bringing slaves in and out of Alabama. And they were like basically sold right on that market.
Oh shit.
Or in the market area. So it's like, weird type of like
significance.
Things. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, it's tough when the whole racial stuff gets like really gets down into like situations like that, because I feel like now you got, when you're just like fighting in like a spur of the moment type of thing, there's like, all right, there's a certain type of anger. But then now when you have like this, when you like bring race into it, right? There might be this person who's been wanting to just like get some anger and issues out because of like racial issues and things that they've like held in the past that they didn't act on and shit. You know what I'm saying? It creates this different level of, all right, there's a little bit more to just, all right, we fighting now, we beefing, like, nah, this is like history.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's behind it. Shoot. And too many times they sit back and watch shit happen. So they're like, okay, now it's time to actually act. And I mean, it's good to see and it's bad to see at the same time, because one, you don't want to see violence all the time, but at the same time, we do want to see us Black people stick up for each other and not just let shit go by the wayside. Though we don't know exactly what words were said as far as moving the boat, who used what kind of aggressive tone first, nothing like that. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't put your hands on anybody. And of course, you shouldn't start jumping somebody. Alcohol was involved, so, bad decisions were probably made. But we can laugh about it now, but I'm hoping, nothing further comes from it. Just people just know how to act better in the future.
Hey, but I gotta, sorry. I have a little tidbit on that. What have you heard Jason Aldean's like new song called
Try That in Our Town, or something like that?
Try That in a Small Town, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just wondering, like, your thoughts on what do you think he kind of meant or was portraying about, like, what he was thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know if the song came out before this or it came out after.
It came out before.
Yeah,
because I saw what's his name? I saw Joe Budden talk about it.
Yeah, I watched that episode as well. I don't really know exactly. I think it's weird. I don't know if he was kind of saying that in relation to stuff that was going on socially. I don't know if he's just talking shit, talking about like, I don't know what the fuck he meant by that, if he didn't mean it racially.
Right?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So like that was my rant, like what's been happening that would have made him like bring this out, like, right? Like what's been happening to make him want to drop this song, or like what's behind it? Because like I agree with Joe Budden in them, because they were saying like, shit, a lot of that stuff, bro, Black people don't do.
Yeah,
we don't spit in cops' face because we know cops might shoot us.
Yeah,
like we don't even have flags to go burn in the street.
Yeah,
shit.
Fuck that.
So like,
never do it.
Right? And so Joe Budden had a point. It's like, man, the shit that they talking about, like, bro, I don't know, like who are we talking about in this song? Because that's what I want to get down to the bottom of.
Exactly. Good question there, because I don't know at all. But I also don't know
who should try that in a small town.
Exactly. Who you talking to, Mr. Jason Aldean? You better keep talking about your tractors and shit.
For real.
Tory Lanez though. recently sentenced to 10 years in jail for the happenings of the Megan Thee Stallion situation. We were hearing, the verdict or his sentencing was getting pushed back and pushed back. We heard that he was trying to appeal and try to get out of jail and stuff like that and bring new evidence to light for the case. But it looks like the jury has decided that for his actions in the case that he deserves 10 years in jail. What do you feel about that verdict there?
Oh man, I'm so upset. I'm really upset because I feel like the whole like trial stuff was very unfair. And it was just, there was just a lot of like gray areas and sticky, like random weird shit going on. And I really don't like the fact that Meg the Stallion blatantly lied twice and like changed her story, and like this was known, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're talking about a case, all it is deniable plausibility or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But see, what I don't like now is when you're talking about a jury. So you have these 10 random people. For this amount of time, you cannot keep these people away from being pushed in social directions.
Influenced by the media.
Yes, exactly. So no matter what, like, your jury is going to be influenced on their social media, on what these pages are saying. Like, it's never going to be this like fair trial type of thing when you are basically just being influenced by everything else that's out there, right? So now it's a campaign on, let's see who can influence the best.
Exactly. Yep, it kind of became a smear campaign.
And I feel like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's was not like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it was publicized, but there was no this or that. It was just kind of like the facts coming out in a sense. But this whole like Tory versus Meg thing, it was hella this and back and forth and what really happened. Oh, she said this, but then changed her story. Like, now he said this, but then she had this, but they didn't really have it. Like, so it was a bunch of this and that. So like, when you have a jury now trying to make a decision off of something like that, I think it's just very unfair because there's no way to not be influenced by what's out there.
I feel it. Let me just say right now, say it with me, guys. Dual cameras. I just feel like 10 years is very excessive to give Tory Lanez in this case for sure. Me personally, I feel like people that have killed people haven't gotten 10 years for stuff that they've done. Again, the case was kind of sporadic with the evidence. People are still trying to insinuate her best friend for actually shooting Meg Thee Stallion, and it wasn't Tory Lanez. I'm not sure why that evidence didn't come out. Firstly, if that was actually the case, to me, it's kind of weird how you can give somebody 10 years when the evidence doesn't point directly to him being the person who shot her. If he did it, I get it. I feel like if he did shoot her, I still feel like he still shouldn't have 10 years. If that makes any sense, there's sympathy there. Don't get me wrong. I'm sympathetic of what happened, but 10 years is excessive. Henry Ruggs from the Raiders just got arrested, or didn't just got arrested, just got sentenced for his doings in that driving 160 miles on Rainbow Road out there in Vegas, killing a lady and her dog. And he only got like 3 or 4 years, 3 to 10. But for Tory Lanez to get definitely 10 years for his involvement in this situation is kind of weird. How Meg Thee Stallion kind of wrote letters to the judge and the jury saying how she hasn't had any peace since that day it happened.
And you twerking on Instagram. Like, come on, shut that shit down. Like, that makes me mad too.
Yeah. And to kind of further to help influence the jury and the judge to give this man 10 years is kind of excessive. That's my opinion.
It's real. It's real. It seems real, like jealousy, haterish.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
what the whole night seemed like, right? So the whole night arose from what? Meg getting jealous and upset over Tory, and look what happened. It feels like now she's over here trying to, instead of trying to move past the situation, she's over here just trying to make his life miserable.
Yeah,
And
she
that's
succeeded.
like, yep. Well, but that's like vendettiveness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's not you trying to move on from a traumatic event. That's just you trying, like, you're upset at a person,
being
so you're trying to.
vindictive.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's the word.
So
Yeah, I think that's really crazy. I don't know. I personally I think Meg Thee Stallion should be like, hey, 10 years is a little excessive to the judge, you know. And I'm also looking at Tory Lanez lawyers for them
and
not doing it.
deported.
Yeah, and that's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
He's got to serve 10 years here and get deported.
It's a lot of conspiracy behind it. Her being with Roc Nation, him turning down a Roc Nation deal, supposedly him being an independent artist who is showing other artists how to make money independently while he was doing his like what was it what was the thing, his quarantine radio thing, where he had hella people on, and then after that he was having people buy his album for a certain amount, like $1 and shit like that, and he had 1 million people buy the album for $1, made $1 million in like a couple of minutes, and he was just doing stuff out there like that. So people thought that was also a conspiracy, that the industry was out there trying to get him, and with this situation they kind of did get him in a situation. And me personally, I would hope that Meg Thee Stallion would kind of try to move on from the situation, kind of change her image a little bit, but she's kind of still doing the same stuff. All that really happened, she started dating Romelu Lukaku and got lost a little weight, but she's still out there shaking ass and still.
I'm just wondering, do we have the same rule for snitching for female rappers as we do for male rappers?
Well, there's no rule for male rappers anymore, so there's definitely not going to be any for female rappers, unless it's female rappers doing it to each other.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Gunna situation is a little different. So in Gunna's case, like, not to get like too deep into it, but like Young Thug has still showed support to Gunna, like from inside and shit. So what I'm thinking is, yes, Gunna told, right? Gunna said that YSL is blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is Gunna's lawyers and Young Thug's lawyers knew the case, knew who had told, who said what, and basically had an agreement like, hey, people have already said this, so Gunna saying it isn't like it's
detrimental to the case.
Yes, right. It's like 1 out of 15 people who have already took the plea deal type of thing. So and that's where I feel like there was calculated snitching, as in a sense of like 6ix9ine was like, nah, like I'm not, he full blown snitched.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like Gunna wasn't canceled as bad, right? Like obviously he wasn't canceled because his shit's selling. So
yeah,
but I feel like there was something like that going on behind the scenes of an agreement. People kind of knew what the case was and shit like that.
But for Meg, I think it's not really snitching because I don't know, it's just kind of taboo to shoot a woman in the first place. So especially in rap game. So I don't know if the same rules apply here in a situation like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. Prayers out to Tory Lanez, and hope, that time goes by fast for, and hopefully gets out with good behavior and time served, and he just gets like 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 3 to 5 was what it should have been, I feel like.
I feel that. Let's talk a little bit. You want to talk a little bit about let's talk about Lil Tay real quick. Lil Tay, we were going to talk about her being, passing away. But I guess she's not only the biggest capper in the world in social media history, she is one of the first people to fake her death on social media. Her and her brother were supposedly had passed away, but they were popped on social media soon after to clear that up and say they were still alive, and somebody hacked their account and said that they were dead when they really weren't. Neither one of them, not the brother or Lil Tay. How do you feel about that?
Man, it's sad the world we live in, to where now like news like that can basically just, we just have to go through so many depths and like of trying to see if things are real.
Mm-hmm.
It's especially with AI now, like people are taking pictures, and I'm probably about to do this as well, but people are taking their image and like a bunch of selfies or whatever and putting it into an AI and having like the AI create like business versions of them and their picture that
Mm-hmm.
is like AI spruced up, that it looks like you, but it's not really you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy, like doing little stuff like that. It's just a world of difference,
Yeah.
but it also makes it to where at a point we're just gonna have to, we don't know how we're gonna vet if like a video is real, if a person's real, if
Yeah.
this is
Aliens
real.
are
Yeah, right. Like,
even if they are, I don't know if we believe it, because all these prank videos and all these clout chasing videos are put out to try to get people famous, get them 15 minutes of fame. And it's going to make, not only are we seeing murders and shit on social media, they're making us hell like desensitized to that kind of stuff. Stuff that's really happening out there, we're never going to know if it's real because people are faking shit just to get famous. I only want to give her hella time because that's what she wants, the clout. I don't know if she really got hacked. Yeah,
supposedly she was
allegedly.
hacked, but
But
on to the next.
yeah,
We'll let her be nobody like she was
yeah,
before she
exactly. Go
faked her
back to
death.
hiding out. Whoa.
Yeah.
Because everybody thought, yeah. I'm sorry, everybody, for trying to give that clout or give any worry to trying to figure out the situation, her dad being abusive, this, and that. Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about that when more stories come out. But before we get to this next commercial break, I want to talk about Maui. The Maui Fires, out there in Hawaii, the island's on fire. I've been seeing a lot of people struggling. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What's going down? I saw you had like a GoFundMe donation page on your Instagram.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy like page. All you have to do is click the little link. It's on my story. And you can like kind of just go through and donate however much you want. Um my mom has also got, like, we're putting together a bunch of different like stuff to donate for that. So I'm sure you can drop like some donation places in the bio for people to reach out and stuff. But yeah, man, it's crazy, it's sad. The one of like my favorite places to go
Go,
in
big boy.
Maui was Lahaina. We were actually just there, and where we stayed, like the area, it burned down and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was like the coolest little town, and like people like those type of places, they really like make their living on the tourism and like their little family owned businesses, and that type of shit is just detrimental,
It was a
bro. Like,
wildfire that started the fires too.
so I don't know what caused it, but what made it bad was that there was a hurricane hella far off of the like coast,
Mm-hmm.
and that is what made like the winds hella high. And so
Chain,
basically,
yeah.
yeah, so basically it blew from hella far into, and like people were trying to like run to the beach to escape it and shit. And
That's
so
wild. Oh yeah, I saw videos on Twitter of the island on fire. They didn't really show people on fire, but there was people on fire. They said out there. Saw homeless dogs walking around. That lost their owners. It was just a disaster everywhere you looked. It reminded me of the fires from out there in Chico and the Paradise fires and stuff like that. When people were driving through, trying to drive out of there, and it was just fire everywhere, and shit was just on fire, and you couldn't really see anything. It just looked like hell from left to right, just everything burning, smoke everywhere.
the Santa
Per
Cruz fires too out
Yeah,
there in Bonnie Dunes area. The same thing happened, which is crazy.
Yeah, you can't do shit with fire. Once that shit gets out of control, it's like you just have to have nature take its course. You can do what you can do, but it's like you can't really stop it once it gets going. Like I've seen that shit from on the Paradise Fire. You saw that shit coming down. We were in Chico, and the air quality was so bad, and like the 600s and shit. And then,
Bro, so I got an invention idea. I feel like, why couldn't we make all right, so like what comes out of a fire extinguisher, right?
yeah,
Why couldn't we make like a bomb type of thing that was like a ball or whatever, and you basically drop it and it detonates, and imagine it just like foams up
yeah, everywhere in the area.
huge, yeah, right. And so now you're like, basically, if you drop a couple of them, you can literally like foam up this fire resistant type of something with these like bombs, right? Instead of trying, because like, bro, dropping the water and like dropping
Yeah,
that it ain't doing it.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
yes, but like, come on now. We've made the atomic bomb, and we don't have some like scientists that can make something. Like in a science class, they be pouring little glasses and stuff, and it'd be like foaming and fizzing out. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can't
Yeah.
make some fire resistant stuff that like,
Unless it's all done by a weather machine being done intentionally for population control. I don't know.
yeah, exactly,
Conspiracy.
right. Yeah.
Getting back into the conspiracy bag. But yeah, I think that would be something that they should come up with, especially seeing how many wildfires in the last couple of years have been devastating areas. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, that's just like one of my biggest fears, especially when you're on an island. You can't really do anything. You can't really go anywhere unless you have a fucking boat. Goddamn, it's like you're fucking stuck in that one area. Um, but yeah, prayers out to all the families out there. If you can help, go ahead and hit that link on Daymo's page. We'll get you set up with that towards the end where they can find that donation page at. You know what I'm saying? They give so much to people going out there to visit. Now is the time that everybody that visits there for leisure gives back to somebody or them who are really in need in this time. But we're last commercial break here. We have Cinema Corner, then we'll get you guys out of here. We have Marvel FX team, visual effects team, I can't even say the word, unionizing for the first time. We have Special Ops Lioness to talk about, and we have Hijack, show from Apple Plus. The finale just happened, so we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Before we get y'all up out of here, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about the Loki season 2 trailer. I don't think we talked about that as at all. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that in Cinema Corner when we come back as well, just to close it all out. But it's the Best of Bias podcast. It's Sunday. Daymo's in the building. Lydell Dinero's always in the building. Thank you guys for being here. We'll be right back. And we are back. Last commercial break there for you guys, Best of Bias family. But you know, we're not getting out of here without hitting you guys with a Cinema Corner. Cinema Corner. We always got some cinema for you, either TV shows, movie news, something to talk about for y'all. Excuse me, or a review or something. So we're getting there right now. Let's start with the Marvel visual effects team unionizing and getting together to try to create a union for the first time, trying to get benefits and help get payment raises, and more so close to kind of asking for the stuff the writers and the actors are asking for, but they haven't really been what's the word I'm looking for? They haven't really been noticed for like their needs, you know what I'm saying? The writers and actors were able to voice those, but visual effects, especially in Marvel, are a big deal. They pretty much make or break the movie, especially with all the CGI and just the animation and the shit, the sci-fi shit they're trying to do. I know you're definitely in that field. So I definitely want to see how you feel about this. You know what I'm saying? You think they should unionize? Do you think it's a good thing for them to try to push for?
Yeah, I mean, I think for them, yeah, it's definitely good. I think we're in the era of basically everybody trying to figure out where they're gonna fit in this next like wave of technology, AI, and the way we start doing things.
Yeah.
And I think the Marvel visual effects, them trying to unionize, it almost is like them trying to protect themselves from like the strikes and stuff, kind of what's happening right now, in a sense of if they were to strike and they aren't unionized and don't have somebody else like got their back, whatnot, then a lot of people just they might not be able to come back from it. But if they do, basically like everything else, the actors have a union, and it's just a way to protect yourselves. And I do think like visual effects and artists like that, it's hard because it's so big.
Yeah.
You can have like 10 artists working on the same thing, kind of type of thing.
Yeah.
So where do you draw the line? Where do you really just, it's hard. It's hard to really, well, I would say maybe not, because when you're talking about making a lot of money,
Yeah.
there should be enough money to go around.
Yeah.
But
I would say so.
all the business parties are always going to argue, well, we need this money to
Yeah, of course.
make more money, blah blah blah, right? And so there's a fine line of like, all right, how can we all eat and eat more when that time comes, but together?
Yeah. I read some shit here. It says visual effects workers are looking to unionize at Marvel because they are currently getting paid on a weekly flat rate. This means they don't get paid extra for overtime, hours, days, and no protections against tight turnarounds. And this would mark the first time visual effects professionals have banded together to demand the same rights, wages, protections, and professional watchdog oversights enjoyed by workers in almost every other segment of the entertainment industry. So yeah, they're looking to trying to, because I feel like pretty much they don't get as much notoriety as they should. Nobody really sits and reads all the names at the end of the credits, you know what I mean? Everybody else's names are big and bold at the beginning of the movie. You see all that recognition. You may get the leader of your group's name put out there, but individual recognition is not really there. So at least pay them, give them benefits like that, like you care about them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing, like a lot of times not everybody's asking for this huge paycheck. They're just asking to feel like they're not
they're valued.
they just want to be valued for what they do,
Yeah.
because like you were saying, well, and people don't realize that a lot of VFX artists, people think of like, oh, visual effects like green screen, this and that, but like there's so much other stuff that comes down to visual effects and rotoscoping, like the title sequences, credits, like literally like color. People can change the colors of your outfit without having to change the color of your outfit. So if they want a different shade of red or a blue, somebody's got to go in and recorrect all of that like color in somebody, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of, it's not just these like, oh, big fight scenes, because like I feel like people think of visual effects as like those, right? Like the big fight scenes or certain CGIs and stuff like that. But in reality, there's so much that goes into it, that it's like you said, it's almost as important, but it's visual effects. So if they want to, they can go find somebody to do it. So
Yeah.
from not their home, but like, you know what I'm saying? That's the hard thing about it. It's a very competitive industry. And so when you have a lot of people who are looking to get into it, the people who are already into it, it's hard to like really show their, or like really get their worth. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I feel it. All power to them. Again, I support all the strikers, the writers, the actors, and even of course, the VFX guys, gals, because all of them are all important. And I feel like they're being devalued, and the industry out there has some money to give. Just they're not asking for the moon and the stars. They're just asking for a little piece of the pie. So do what you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that needs to end too,
Yeah,
because
for real.
that movie is being delayed that we've already been waiting super long for. I'm not excited about that.
It's not a good thing. But there's a show that we are watching right now. Something I want you to talk about a little bit. Special Ops Lioness, Zoe Zaldana. New
Really
show
like
out on Paramount Plus.
it.
Let you talk a little bit about the show.
Man, I really like it. Well, one, I'm a big fan of hers.
Keep going.
Yeah, ever since, so like I probably fell in love with Colombiana,
Mhm.
action wise, right? I mean, obviously I like her as Gamora and she's cool in like Avatar, but Colombiana was like I really like seeing her as her, you know?
Mhm.
And I feel like Special Ops Lioness kind of gives a little bit of that like badass feel for sure.
Yeah.
And I love the story behind it. Um they have like a good series on their hands, I feel like, because of like what they can do, different operatives, different stories to tell of
Yeah.
like different women that
Mhm.
are close to these people, and you know what I'm saying, in different countries and things like that. So
Yeah. Seems
I
like a
think
tough job. Basically, if you guys haven't seen it, Best to Buy Family, it's about pretty much Zoe Zaldana's character trains operatives in I don't know if it's CIA or what exactly field is.
yeah, there's CIA.
CIA, yeah. So basically train women to go in and get close to these targets that they're trying to infiltrate and get these terrorists. They train these women to infiltrate and get close to the wives and stuff, and just get in with the families and the sooner just feed them intel from the inside out to help the CIA kind of get these guys. And they show what it takes for these women to get in there and be tough enough, and how they test them to see if they can take or have what it takes to get put in high pressure situations, in these terroristic situations. And it's pretty epic. The stuff that they do to some of these girls in this show, especially the main girl that they're training in the show, it's epic.
In episode 1 is brutal. Just
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
so you know
yeah. And she's
what
the
they
best.
have to do to the first girl
Exactly.
to hook you in, just let you know.
And just
It's a
sometimes
good show. It's a really good show.
yeah, but I feel it though. You got to make sure they're not able to break. If they are getting in, because you not only is your neck on the line, sometimes you go on these ops that actually the government can't know about. So, you can't have them out there just leaking information, or just at the site of danger, or the site of pain, or just one experience with pain, just give up all the bacon and just give up the
Yeah.
ops and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
interesting show. Go check it out. Don't want to give up too much. I think episode 4 or 5 are out right now. Comes out
4.
on
I think
4.
5. I'm not sure what day it drops. I think it
Yeah, it's
drops
like
on
a Wednesday.
Sundays,
Oh,
or I don't
Sunday.
know. Hopefully,
Maybe
I
Sunday.
I
Hmm.
be checking randomly, and I just like,
Yeah,
oh, it's there. But
yeah,
I know for sure I just got honey into it. But I know
yeah.
for sure it's only at 4 because I checked today.
The last episode, when she found out the news at the bar, I'm like, whoa, that shit was epic.
Oh
About the
yeah,
daughter.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro, crazy.
yeah. But you go
No,
watch.
that is the daughter said something. This doesn't really have too much relevance, I guess, but the daughter said something about, did anybody ask me if I wanted to come into this world? So I'm gonna do what I want. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, is that really how millennials think right now?
Yeah, that'd be
Because
terrible.
like, okay, what was your answer gonna be if I asked you?
Yeah, yeah,
You would swim. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing. Yeah, I did ask you. You didn't say nothing. You didn't speak up.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
but
It's
wow.
interesting. Yeah, teenagers, man. I couldn't imagine having one nowadays, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Go check out Lioness. Let's talk a little bit about this Loki season 2 trailer.
Ooh.
We saw some shit in this. I watched a little review video as well from Heavy Spoilers. Just to kind of get a grasp of what's going on in season 2. We see Loki kind of time jumping around. He doesn't really have control of where he's staying at, because he's getting ripped through time here and there. We see Mobius is back, of course. We see also Sylvie. She's trying to. It seems like she's trying to get ingratiated back into regular life. She's like a McDonald's worker. in the it's kind of interesting. We do see, I forgot what that agent's name is, the black lady that helped him escape
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much.
yeah. I know who
He's
you're
gonna be a
talking about.
main star. But I'm interested to
Yeah.
see what's going on. If they're gonna really tie Kang into this, we get to see what's going on or why Loki is kind of jumping around and he can't control it. Is he gonna have to kill different versions of himself around time, even though they've already kind of tried to do that. But I don't know. What do you think is gonna happen in
You
season 2?
think Kang's gonna help Loki figure out why he's jumping like that?
I think they go to him, an early version of him that, the one that was in at the end of Ant-Man.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they go when they're sitting in the audience and they meet
Victor
him.
Timely.
Yeah, and they're gonna try to figure out why. I think in the comics they had him create like robots or something back in the day when Victor Timely was out there and he created a bunch of robots and tried to take over the world type shit and created
Right,
Kang the
okay.
Conqueror supplementally. But I think in this version, I think, I mean, if you watch the heavy spoilers video, they said maybe Victor Timely is creating the early version of the little neck thing that takes you forward and back in time. Because the little thing
Okay.
that she was using on Loki to make him every time he tried to run away, he would come back, a
Oh,
little
yes,
time
yes,
jump
yes,
type
yeah.
thing.
Uh-huh.
So there was theorizing that maybe that's an early version of him creating that. They're
Okay.
going to see what they can do to help him stop jumping in time. But of course, Kang is a bad guy, so Loki kind of knows it already. But I don't know if Mobius necessarily knows it because remember when he went back at the end of the show, Mobius didn't really know who Loki was or
Yeah,
where he was
yeah.
from, what division he was from. So I think Loki may have to try to help Mobius kind of remember hella shit as well.
Well, I'm interested to see how they're going to play on, like, in the very beginning they showed that there was the Kang statue in the TVA. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to explain like
I think that's when when
who and
Loki
what he
stabbed
is.
the wall and the thing faded out and the Kang statue was in the background.
Yeah,
I think that's when he's going to be trying to convince Mobius that Kang is
that's
actually, or
okay.
he
It's a
who
bad
remains
guy.
is in control. And he's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on?" And he hits the wall and he sees a statue on the outside. And it,
yeah. Maybe that's a time loop or
and
something.
I think on also heavy spoilers again, it showed that the TVA, like remember the three guys that Sylvie cuts off one of the heads?
Yeah,
It showed that one of the heads were on the floor. So maybe
yeah,
he
yeah.
actually goes back in time, shows Mobius actually that these things are fake, cuts off the head, stabs
Okay.
the wall. This is all fake. This is what we need to do. Kang
Oh,
is, what I'm saying?
yeah,
Kang is
yeah.
real. And we need to,
Figure it out.
exactly figure that shit out because he obviously is coming back to do some shit.
Definitely. When does that drop again?
I want to say October 30th.
Okay.
I want to say that,
And Marvel's comes out September.
yeah, it comes out really soon. Really, really soon. In like a mid-September-ish. Um, but they said that Marvel's is going to be a direct
November 10th.
no, November 10th. Okay, it's supposed to be a direct follow-up to uh Secret Invasion. The Marvels is so
Okay.
yeah, so it's supposed to be a direct follow-up. So I guess you need to watch that to see what is supposed to happen in conclusion
Yeah.
of the last episode of Secret Invasion, which is not getting too
Okay.
much of a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now. I think it's like at an 8% or some bullshit, which is crazy. But finally here, before we get out of here, I know you watched Hijack. The finale just happened a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week. How did you feel
Yeah.
about the finale in regards to how you like the show in general? Did you like how it ended? You think it ended too fast? I know there's been some.
Yeah, it was a little abrupt. I would have liked if I know they did like a mini series, but I would have liked if they ended it to where he got like a government contract to where now he has to like mediate super high profile situations or
Right.
something. And so like that could be a season 2, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean overall it was a really good show. I thought I don't know, I have an interesting like feel about like mini series is right. It's like it's hard because when you get attached to them, it's like, okay, well, I came into this as a series, but it's like a movie kind of film. So
it's a one-off type of deal.
yeah.
I liked Hijack, but then I thought after the last episode leading to the finale, it just didn't kind of live up. Like after the lady shot the pilot in the head and went in the cockpit and shut it down, I thought it was like, oh, what the fuck's about to happen? Shit's about to go down now. And I thought she was pretty much, I theorized that she was actually involved from the guy. And first of all, what the fuck happened to those guys that got out of jail? Like they didn't say that they caught them or anything. They just got out of jail and just roaming free right now.
Yeah, I mean,
first of all,
well, one killed the other one. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And then I forgot what happened to the other one. It was
they never really went back to him.
Yeah,
because they were like, okay, if you don't do this, the lady that took over the plane, like we're gonna kill your family. Like you're a failsafe. If you don't keep driving the plane or do whatever you're supposed to do, crash it in London, then we're gonna kill your family. Within it took like 5 seconds of convincing.
I think they got them. They're trying to dip out on the plane or something.
Okay, so they caught them. I'm gonna say they didn't even wrap that shit up.
Caught them again.
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to watch it. But yes, it wasn't as so. The finale was not as good as the show.
Yeah, it's like pretty much they wrapped everything up, and then for him to go back on the plane and have the little standoff situation with the main guy, the guy with the zip tie. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Why are we even in this situation? How do you get out of the zip ties? Come on, this is kind of anticlimactic and stupid. Oh, I forgot my phone. Let me go back and get my phone. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, we just happened to forget the one main bad guy.
Right. Yeah. It's wild, and I don't know. It was cool, man. I thought it would be long. I mean, I don't know if it was need to be longer. It was about 8 episodes or so, but I really stretched it out, man. They really stretched it out. Each one just kind of built up and built up and built up. But sometimes, I mean, that's what happens. This had to be like a British production or something.
Yeah, and then they turned it a festival or something.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen with a lot of TV shows right now. It's like they're all gonna come from like Korea or Asia or fucking Canada or the UK because they don't have the same strike rules for the SAG and the writers aren't on strike out there. So and A24, that movie studio, they're not on strike either because they're not part of the. But anyways, yeah, Hijack was cool. Apple Plus, they have a bunch of good shows over there. I watched Severance already. I watched the show After Party on Apple Plus. Ted Lasso I've watched. I've watched a bunch of stuff, a bunch of series on there. Check them out, and they're doing their thing. A bunch of actors. I just started that one with Tom Holland. That series where he's supposedly no, he's not. Oh, I don't know actually, but he supposedly at the beginning of the first episode, supposedly he was getting ready to shoot somebody, his landlord for something that he did. But he didn't shoot him. Him and his girl. He was with his girl, and his girl wanted him to shoot this guy, and he didn't do it. The girl took the gun, shot that dude, shot him in the arm, but it was in hella public place. So everybody was like hella scared. Police came, but she didn't get the dude. Just so happens the police catch Tom Holland, who didn't shoot the gun. They go to his house, arrest him because the girl that was with him that chased after dude, nobody knows where she is, and she's missing now.
Send me that shit.
Yeah, and they think that Tom Holland killed her and killed her.
Don't tell me too much.
I haven't seen it. I've seen the first episode. I haven't really
I
haven't really seen much of it, but that's in the description. Like he's accused of some crazy ass crime and he goes to jail for it, and they try to figure out if he did it or not. That's the description of the show. I didn't really see anything. I don't even know the details of the crime that happened. I just know that something happened and they arrested Tom Holland for it, and he's trying to prove that he didn't do it in a sense. But it's a thriller, and this is actually the movie he said that he has to take a break from acting to do because he was so in character that it was causing him mental shit that he had to take a break. So it is thriller. It's like you see a part of Tom Holland, it's like fuck, he looks kind of like fucking one of these cult guys. He's like kind of creepy looking, but he's supposed to be a good guy. So check it out if you haven't seen it. Any music or anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Anything you listen to, watching?
I like that new DJ Khaled song.
Okay.
What is it called? Supposed to Be Love or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I definitely like the little sample. I really like the mixture of Lil Baby, Future, and Lil Uzi on there. I feel like they all complement each other's style very well.
Nice. Yep.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, Trippie Redd's album, it was a lot vibier than I thought. It's like a love letter to you 5 or something like that. So it's not like normal party rock Trippie. It's like kind of like he got a little like Drizzy type of singing on the track.
Okay.
So
got some fire on there.
Yeah, no, he's got Bryson Tiller. He's got Lil Weezy on one. But he's got a couple other people, Roddy Rich on one. So he's got some cool tracks.
Nice,
sure.
nice. For sure. Yeah, me personally, I'm not listening to anything new. I'm still kind of listening to the Utopia album, Travis Scott shit. I'm still kind of trying to vibe with it. A couple songs on there I like. Reese LaFleur just dropped Diva 4 with DJ Drama. Pretty epic little album. I've been listening to him a lot, kind of like underground artist. Pretty good,
Okay.
pretty good stuff. Netflix, that movie, a new Gal Gadot movie just came out. I think it's called Heart of Stone. Pretty epic. But that's pretty much it. I'll let you guys get out here on this Sunday. We're at the end of the podcast where I like to let them know where they can find you at. Any projects you have going on, anywhere that you can find you, just let the people know.
You can find me on Instagram at the Daymo Lee _POV. And yeah, look out for Shirley's Temple episodes. We got Gata from Dave, if anybody watched that out there. And then we got Lil Xan, aka Diego. I think you guys know you might know who he is. So watch out for those. We got those dropping and stuff. So those were our latest guests and whatnot. And other than that, I might be hitting y'all with some new content, some fun, random like celeb footage and stuff that I just got sitting and shit. So
nice.
Might
definitely
do
look
some
out for
shit
that.
with it.
Hell yeah. Look out for that again. One more time for the Instagram. One more time.
All right, it's the Daymo Lee _POV. I think. Yep, that's it.
There we go. Hell yeah. And then you know what your boy's name is. SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. Best of Bias. If you're looking for us on Instagram, Best of Bias, type it in, you'll find us there. YouTube, same deal. Like, subscribe, share. Tell your friends about us, man. AKA working hard on the videos, just got a new computer. So we out here taking it to the next level, trying to keep it going. If you're trying to be in the pod,
shit to the next level,
you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to be in the pod, hit us up on any of those platforms. We're looking for guests all the time. You know what I'm saying? We're always willing to have, bring debates to the circle, bring your biases to the table. Me, Daymo, AKA, we'll have Chelsea's coming on soon. She has to be on. She was supposed to be on this week, but I got to push that back. But yeah, the more the merrier. The more perspectives, the merrier. So I'm trying to get a whole bunch. Yeah, exactly. Topics. We got the anime tournament. Me, AKA, and Deshaun. I'm gonna put a whole bunch of animes in a March Madness style tournament. Kind of battle it out. All three of us are gonna vote, and we're gonna see which one's gonna move on down to one ultimate battle. We're going to try to do that with a whole bunch of different categories of the Best of Bias, just keeping the content fresh and just having different stuff out there for you to do. But that'll be soon, very, very soon. We're getting the contestants together for you. I know we got we're going to try to do a round of 16.
Do a Marvel superhero one.
Yeah, we'll get that going. All kind of rappers, songs. We'll try to get all that shit. Get different guests on for those different episodes. So content just building on top of each other. We got a whole bunch of ideas brewing. The art, the Best of Bias Media. We're more than a podcast. We're a merch gang as well. Like I say, we have hats, dad hats, bucket hats, t-shirts, and all that shit is well available. And we still trying to get into the comics. We're trying to get our own comic books together. If you have ideas for storylines for characters, we have artists. We're trying to put a whole bunch of stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Storybooks, TV shows. The sky's the limit for Best of Bias Media. But right now, don't tell nobody. But hey, enjoy your Sunday. It's the Best of Bias podcast. Daymo, you have anything to say to the people before we get up out of here?
No. Have a good day.
If y'all trying to get your asses whooped in anything online, it's what is it? SAC Lydell 22 on the PlayStation. That's my PSN. Hit me up if you're trying to run some Call of Duty. Hit me up, Warzone.
It's the Daymo Lee _POV.
You know what I'm saying? I need to get my streaming going again. I think so. So you can see us running some Warzone. We out here getting dubs. Me and Paul, we were playing ranked today on Big Map. Got a ranked W.
Okay.
That was the first of a kind. You know what I'm saying? See us out here. Hit us up, add us online if you're trying to play some games.
First of all, I was trying to hop on. Y'all was out there playing duos without me.
Oh yeah, today?
No, yesterday.
Oh yeah,
I hopped on your guys's, and when you were playing all four of you guys.
Oh, last night, and
with John and D.
Yeah, we actually won a game, me, Paul, and I think John last night, but we actually got some W's today. But yeah,
Man, I should have got that W on that last one,
yeah,
man.
you
That
should
would
have
have been
clutched up.
crazy.
Yeah, clutched up. I mean, yeah, it'll happen though. Yeah, add us on there.
Oof.
New Madden, new 2Ks are coming out, so you can hit me up on there. I'll play y'all on that too. So, listeners, I love y'all. Thank y'all for. Sorry, it's a couple of days late, but we got it. We got the pod out here, aka Do Your Thing. We have a bunch of clips in the videos as well. I don't know if you guys noticed last week we had clips with all our topics. It just popped up there. So, yeah, a lot of shit going on, a lot of good shit going on. So, hit that bell so you won't miss any new episodes. But it's the Best of Bias podcast. Where that theme song at? We out of here.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast.